Here we are at the time of recording this, or at the time of the release of this video. The season 3 of Power Ghost Book Ghost season 3 should be exactly a month away, and with that we have received a new trailer. I think probably like a day, 2 days ago, and I already made a video talking about the deaths I want to see, a few predictions and all that. And this is probably the last video I make leading up to the premiere of episode 1 of season 3, which is March 17th. Y'all, I'm pretty sure y'all looking out for it just as much as me. But with this new trailer, we got way more information, way more clues, and way more looks into what we might be getting into season 3. And now I have switched around my predictions a little. I have a few ideas of who might die, so this is my final and last predictions, reveals of everything that I think will happen in season 3 of Power. Let's get into it. Now, the two biggest things I want to point out and look at is the contrast and the comparison of Ghost and Tariq at these points of their lives and at the point Tariq is. And I recently, on my last video, I made a whole video on James St. Patrick. You guys should check that out if you're Power fans, talking about his motives, ideologies, all the reasons he did what he did. And now Tariq, I left a comment on that video. Someone commented talking about it, and I talked about how in this season I think that Tariq will expand from the college scene, and they won't do that as much because, you know, you got to think about it. Lauren is dead, Professor Milgram is dead, that other professor guy is dead. I don't know if light-skinned Keisha coming back to play her role, so I didn't think he would stay around the school environment for that much longer. And in this trailer, we could see him talking about he could become the next Mecca. He's willing to fill that role at this time, at his young age. So I already was right about that prediction about them taking a step further and getting Tariq more in the business side of things. And with that, we see a scene in the trailer where his grandma specifically tells him he's just like his father. And as seasons go by, episodes go by, minutes go by, we see Tariq being more and more like Ghost and understanding why Ghost did everything he did. So that was perfect that I dropped that video. Go check out that video on James St. Patrick, because Tariq is growing into what Ghost was and why he thought the way he was. So that was the first key thing I pointed out from the trailer. Now, getting into the next part after them expanding outside, let's talk about the deaths once again, because in this trailer we hear a few names talking about killing them, etc., etc., and we see a few scenes where something popped off, something went on, and this gives us a lot of clues. Now, in my original video, I believe 2 of my deaths were Lorenzo and Sax. Now, and so far in the 2 trailers we received, we really got no side of the law enforcement, whether it's Sax, the lady he's fucking, or Rodriguez coming back from the FBI, CIA, whatever the hell she was in the last season. So for these death predictions, I'm only going to go off based off what we've seen in the trailer and what might play out, what might happen. So the first thing I heard and noticed was Monet's name. Everybody's talking about Monet. They want to knock her off. They want to take Monet out. And we also see the lady that's supposedly, I guess, the new Connect. She's going to be in charge. They are going to be running for her. The business is going to basically go through her. So I don't think it's Monet that's going to die this season. I honestly still believe it's going to be Lorenzo, because if she dies prior to finding out Lorenzo was the one who killed Zeke and the family turns against him, I think that's like killing off a whole storyline that could play out. So I don't think it's Monet that dies this season, and I do think her character is still more important, more influential, and more, I think people rather watch her than Lorenzo's character, because the show was still good before Lorenzo came into play, and the only thing he's done so far is fuck everything up by killing Zeke. So I still believe Lorenzo will die this season and Monet won't. Like, I don't see more than 2 Tejadas dying this season, and most other people think it might be true, but I'm gonna just go with Lorenzo. Another important event and important scene, I actually want to save this for the end, so we're going to skip that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have timestamps in this video, so of course you could skip to that timestamp, but I want to save this for its own separate part actually. getting back to the other characters, if they do decide to have the law enforcement side of things play a pivotal role in this season, I still do believe, I think it's Sax's time. Like, it's honestly been well past due. So Sax will still most likely die this season if he's a vital part of the story, if he's feeding information to the DA like I think he would, if he's still working for McClane and all that. Sax, yeah, he's out of here this season. And the last death is pretty much obvious, I think, at this point. I'm pretty sure that Canoe Connect, the lady, she's going to die. And I do think this is unique and different, having a lady connect. I don't really recall them having one of those before. So this is an interesting premise. But let's be honest, how often or how long do connects really last? Like, Lobos probably lasted the longest, like 2 seasons, I believe. Mulan taken out when Dre was the connect, nope, didn't work out. When Tommy was the connect, didn't work out. Mecca, we just seen what happened to him. So look, these connects do not last, and they not really as vital to the story long term as a Tariq, Effie, Brayden, Drew, etc., etc. So I believe the connect will be taken out by the end of the season, especially because it looks like she's going to take them out. They fucked something up. They're fucking with her money. Business not going as good as it should. So it looks like she's after them, like another Mecca situation. So I believe by the end of this season, this connect will be no more. She will be dead, just like the other 2 predictions, Lorenzo and Sax. And of course, the last part I want to get into for this video is Tariq, Effie, and Brayden. They're all their dynamics and relationships and how this season will look. So we get glimpses and clips of Brayden and Effie talking about they got a Tariq, what happened. Effie saying they're gonna take this to the grave. We see her having, which is it might be a flashback, or she might be having a dream. We see her pushing the car that Lauren was in, because if you remember at the end of season 2, it says she died in a car accident. So we see her pushing the car, showing the events of what led to Lauren's death. So that might be a flashback. That might be a dream Effie is having. But I believe by the end of this season, Tariq will know what happened. He will have all the details. And we get an important scene where he's asking her to tell him the truth, what happened. And we see her reaching for her gun. Now, Effie is my favorite character, and I don't want her to die, and I don't think they will kill her off this early, especially when we don't know much about her background. I feel like she could be utilized in the long run between Tariq, Diana, and Effie. Pretty sure he'd choose Diana, but she could be used more in the future. So I don't want her to die, and I'm hoping they don't kill her off, but this level of confrontation is finally here, and that's probably the biggest storyline going into season 3. Tariq finding out what happened to Lauren, Effie and Brayden playing a part. And if you remember in my last video talking about Power and my predictions, I talked about Tariq and Brayden for the first half. Brayden trying to stay away from him. Tariq finds out they won't be cool. They'll be off each other, but they'll eventually have to work together to get things done. Either move product, take out the connect, or just handle some type of business. And I think that's more confirmed in this story as we see more clips of them being together and having to work together. So it's interesting to see the full dynamic between Tariq, Brayden, and Effie this season. If you want to, I'll do this last part. I'll give a main storyline prediction for every character in the story. Tariq, he's trying to take the next levels, take steps to be like a real businessman and handle the work product. He wants to do everything at once. He's growing more into the ghost type role. And as we could see in the trailer, his grandma is noticing that. I believe Monet will be on a rampage, angered about the death of Z, trying to find out what happened. It'll be cautious to be around her, and it's going to take out pain on different people that leads them to wanting to take out Monet. Lorenzo be trying to hide from the truth, trying to keep Monet calm, acting like he's on her side, knowing that he was the one who really killed Z. So that's my predictions for the Tariq, Monet, and Lorenzo storyline. I believe Diana she'll most likely be growing independent into her own lane outside of the Tejada family. We see her having a relationship or sex with a boyfriend in the trailer. This is the second time they put it in. So I think she's gonna pave her own lane and leave the Tejada name behind, especially if Lorenzo does die this season, like I predicted, because she's probably the closest in the family to him. and their relationship probably the closest. And plus, she knows that he left that night, the night that Zeke died. So if she spills the information, Lorenzo does die. I think this leads her on her independent path away from the family. For Brayden, I think Brayden's season will be more regretful of the life path he's taking, or at least at the beginning, have to like take a step back from everything he's been doing and realize that they are really impacting and hurting people, especially after Lauren's death and knowing what happened. I think he'll take a step back, but like I said, eventually Tariq will need him. They'll need each other. They'll come together. They'll do everything they need to do. As for Drew and Kane, I really don't know the direction that they go with those characters this season. I feel like they just are who they are. Isn't really much they could do. Kane is just Kane. He's like the new Kanan, basically. Cause Havoc, cause wreck, but if you need somebody to get some shit done, he could get it done. So I'm pretty sure he'll be not necessarily like a filler role, but he won't be as vital to the key storylines that we're looking into, unless it's mainly about the Zeke death, because his whole family is involved in that. But other than that, I don't think him and Drew have necessarily vital, important roles this season. They'll be more like filler characters, buy time, have some dialogue, and basically business as usual, move product, etc., etc. But overall, that is my predictions for season 3 of Power Book Ghost season 3. So like I said, Tariq, he will be growing more into the ghost type role. Everybody will start noticing. He will start realizing why his dad was the way he was. I believe that the 3 deaths will be Lorenzo, Sax, and the new connect they're getting. But it is a woman connect, so they might play this plot out a little longer into another season, because this is something new and different. So that's interesting as well. And like I said, the main key will be the dynamic between Tariq, Brayden, and Effie following Lauren's death and how that all plays out. I can't wait to see the scene between Tariq and Effie where she decides to pull a gun. But if you're excited for Power Season 3 like I am, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Go check out my video talking about Ghost, why he was the way he was, his backstory, his life, his relationship with Tasha, Angela, Tommy, everything. Go check out that video if you like this one. But like I said, I'm out.